here's another recently extinct animal that you probably didn't know existed, the Niata cattle. Now, this is kind of a different one because this isn't a wild animal that went extinct. This is a domestic breed of cattle that's just no longer around, but I think it's interesting, so we're talking about it anyways. So this breed of cattle was a apparently very rare, and then very common, and then very rare again breed of South American cattle. Kind of the main defining feature of this breed is the short, pug-like snout that they had. Now, unlike the dogs and cats of a modern day that have those very snub noses, apparently the Niata cattle didn't really have any breathing difficulties and were overall around as healthy as the other types of regular cattle seen in the area. One of, if not the very first official records of this cattle was made by Charles Darwin in the 1830s when he was traveling around South America. And he noted that this breed does breed true, meaning that the snub-nosed feature will be passed on to different offspring. He did also note, while there's no real differences in health of this breed as opposed to other cattle, they did have a little bit more difficulty surviving in very dry drought conditions, and usually did not survive as long as other cattle could in a super dry environment. Now, what I find the most interesting about this is that it seemed to have gained and lost popularity as a breed very quickly. Darwin noted that they were kind of rarely seen up until rather recently in his time period. It's rather short-lived. The cow breed seemed to be somewhat popular around when Darwin made his observations about it, and then very quickly started to decrease, so much so by the 1900s or the early 20th century, there was pretty much none of the Niata cows to be found. Kind of the main hypothesis as to why this breed did end up going extinct is that the ranchers and farmers in charge of breeding them kind of thought that they were unsuitable for the environment that they were in, and stopped breeding them in favor of more hardy and environmentally suited cow breeds. So without the intentional breeding of the new Niata cows, the breed just kind of dwindled out in favor of different breeds.